Right. So, friends, as I mentioned, this is Mr. Kamal Sahani, Managing Director of Cliniminds Global. So, we would like to welcome him. So,
thank you.
On behalf of this very wonderful pharmacy, welcome yourself for the event. On behalf of this very wonderful pharmacy, we welcome you, sir.
All right, so you can start. Thank you. Thank you, Sharad. So, Sharad, before we start, could you give me the little bit of background about the students, what kind of a courses, education background, and which year? And someone from the college could sort of
Right. So, we have the final year students of Farm B and Farm B. And we have the interns who are sitting here today.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Very clear, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Sambhaji of this college of Sambhaji Matters. And we have Bachelor of Pharmacy program, 4 years program, and MD, so integrated PG program of 6 years. The students are certainly here is first year, second year, third year, and final year, and intern MD students along with the final year become students. So
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. On the behalf of all the students and for the pharmacy, we welcome you, sir, for this session.
Thank you, sir. I'll start. Good afternoon, everyone. So, first of all, I would like to thanks the management of Pushpagiri College of Pharmacy at Tiruvalla. I believe it's a very beautiful city. I've never been to. I wish I was there in person, but what I've heard about this city and read about this city is beautiful city, and a lot of places to visit, and hope to someday come there in person. Thank you for the all esteemed faculty of the college. Thank you very much for the opportunity as well to present about the life sciences sector opportunities. I will just share my presentation and just let me know if we are able to see this presentation. Just a moment. Is my presentation visible?
I can confirm, yes, I can see.
Sarath, is the screen visible? My laptop visible. Okay, great. Thank you. So today we are going to, talk, and maybe on the other side, for the time being, you can mute Sarath that side. So that if you mute, it will help in more clarity of sound, because otherwise it will echo in. Thank you. So today we are going to talk to the pharmacy student. First of all, thank you everyone. And it's always great to talk to the, new generation of students who are studying pharmacy at different levels, whether it's a B Pharm, M Pharm, or Pharm D program. It's good to talk to you and see how the, new generation of students could contribute to the constant growth of the life sciences sector. At Cliniminds, our motto is to nurturing minds and touching lives. Since 2004, we have been running this institution, Cliniminds. This year has been the 20th year, and over 10,000 students and the professionals have been trained over the years for the different career opportunities in the life sciences sector. So today we are going to talk about what is happening in the new age career options. If you traditionally say, in the pharmacy, careers were always about the going to the manufacturing company, work in the manufacturing part or the quality control, work as a medical representative, work in the pharmaceutical company in some roles, prepare for your MPharm, or then subsequently also look for the opportunities in the pharmaceutical, in the traditional domains, or you prepare for the drug inspector exam. But now things have changed. In about last 2 decades, in the last 20 years, India has gone through the sea change in terms of the opportunities for the pharmacy graduates and the postgraduates or the PharmD students now as well. A lot of events took place. India traditionally has been fairly strong into the pharmaceutical industry. Hence, today we are called also the pharmacy to the world. We are the largest manufacturers of the drugs, generic drugs. At the same time, India now is seen as an important destination for the drug development process. India did a lot of regulatory changes in order to reach where we are today. In 2005, we made significant changes in our regulations. We allowed the product patent regime. We allowed the new drugs and clinical trial regulations, first time amendments to the Schedule Y, which basically attracted a lot of investment in the clinical trials domain and also into the new drug development. So 2005 onwards, the doors were opened for the large number of companies who could come and conduct the clinical trials in India, because we started with a fairly good set of regulations. And that opened up the opportunities like, if you see on the screen, clinical trials, clinical data management, statistical analysis, biostats. Another interesting area, pharmacovigilance, drug safety, which all of you as a pharmacy students hear this terminology often, medical and scientific writing domain, medical affairs, pharmaceutical business analytics, how we analyze the data, how we use the data for the critical scientific and business decision making. Medical device, fairly new. Post-COVID, India is now making a lot of progress in the medical devices. Our regulations have changed, and India is also becoming a big story for the medical devices. Regulatory affairs, fairly important for the pharmacy graduates and postgraduates, how the regulatory department is the backbone of the entire pharmaceutical company. And last but not least, the quality assurance, the QA. There are several aspects in the QA we are going to talk in detail. So we will talk about some of these areas and how these opportunities are going to impact you positively in the when you're ready to work, ready to pass your degree or a postgraduate degree you're doing or a PharmD you're doing. So one of the important areas which is driving the growth is the clinical trials. So what are clinical trials? Clinical trials is a part of the drug development process. When we develop a new medicine, we want to develop a new drug. How do we do that? We identify the series of molecules. We conduct the study in the laboratory stage. We rule out and zero down to certain molecules. Then we go to the preclinical stage. Preclinical, where we do the studies on the animal models. And we want to study in the animal models the safety, efficacy in the animal models, and then bring the drug to the stage where it is ready for the clinical trials. The clinical trial means the scientific study of the drugs in human beings. So how do we conduct these clinical trials? There are a set of regulations. In India, we call it New Drugs and Clinical Trial Rules 2019. Our regulatory agency in India is called Drug Controller General of India, under the department called Central Drugs and Standards Control Organization. And this agency in India decides the all regulations related with conduct of clinical trials. If we want to conduct clinical trial, we will put an application to the agency, to the DCGI under CDSCO, and apply to conduct the clinical trial, and we will receive the approval and we conduct the formal study on the human beings. But all this process is highly, tightly regulated, and also we follow several ethical guidelines, the various other international conventions and guidelines like ICH GCP principles, International Conference on Harmonization, Good Clinical Practice, which are fairly backbone of the all clinical trials globally. So we follow the ICH GCP principles, but in terms of the regulations, we follow the country-specific regulation, like in India, DCGI regulation, New Drugs and Clinical Trial Rules 2019. In clinical trials, we want at every stage of the clinical trial, whether it's a phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, we want to ensure that the drug is safe. It is always about safety over efficacy. How we conduct, these studies. So we select in the phase 1 or phase 0. In fact, to begin with, we want to do the microdosing studies to see the absorption of the drug. We go to the phase 1 to do the safety studies. We want to do the, how the drug is being absorbed in the body, how body is behaving, pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic studies. We do routes of administration. But we want to see how the drug is behaving, how the body is behaving with the drug. So we want to ensure the safety part. At phase 1, we are not worried about the efficacy of the drug. Then we come to the phase 2, which is a slightly larger cohort of patients, actual patients. In the phase 1, we had healthy volunteers because we do not wish to expose the patients to the drugs without, testing in the healthy volunteers. So in phase 2, we have disease-specific population. We select them on the basis of certain exclusion-inclusion criteria, and we conduct the phase 2 studies in 250 to 500 patients, where we want to study the safety, but we start looking at the efficacy of the drug. We want to remove biases. We do the double-blinded studies, 2-arm double-blinded studies. We do the various kinds of study models at this stage to ensure that the drug continues to be safe, but is efficacious in the target disease which we are targeting. Once we establish the safety and efficacy in this stage, we move to the phase 3 of the clinical trials, which is a much larger phase. Here we have many countries, thousands of patients, 2, 3, 4,000 patients, or maybe 5,000 patients in thousands of, patients, many countries, hundreds of doctors, investigators would get involved into conducting these trials. And we want to establish the long-term safety, long-term efficacy, how the drug behaves in different population groups, in women, in older population, in pediatric population, if applicable. So we will want to see how the drug is behaving in different geographies in the world, different genetic groups in the world, how the drug behaves in different environment. So we analyze all this data at the phase 3 level, and then with all this data of the lab, preclinical, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, we go to the regulating agency like DCGI in India or FDA in USA, EMA in Europe, MHRA in UK. We go and submit to the regulator for marketing authorization of the drug. Because the regulator wants to see how were your clinical trials you conducted at different stage, and they want to see the final analysis, final report of the safety of the drug and efficacy as well. And on the basis of your data, the regulator will give you approval to launch the drug. And that application which you file is called the new drug application, which is used to assess your drug on the safety and efficacy and whether your drug is ready for the marketing. So you get the approval, or regulator, if not convinced with the data, they may ask you to do these studies again, or do the additional safety studies, additional efficacy studies before they get convinced. If they get convinced with the data, scientific data, which is not a one person who decides, every regulatory agency has got several expert groups. And these expert groups from various, parts of the society and the healthcare system and the research system, they all get together, assess this data. On the basis of this data, they give the approval or reject or seek the additional information or the data. Once your drug is approved, your responsibility as a company does not end here. It doesn't mean that you have now machine to make money and you're going to sell the drugs worldwide. No. Everywhere you go, in every country, you need to obtain different approvals. So you want to go to sell your drug in Europe, in Russia, in the ROW markets, in Africa, in Middle East, wherever you want to go, you want to follow the regulatory guidelines or regulations of those countries. At the same time, in wherever you have received the approval, government, the regulator, want to ensure that your drug now continues to be safe. Because earlier, you were doing the clinical trials in very limited population, in about 3,000-4,000 patients. You knew very well who these people are, who those participants in the trial are, who is the doctor, investigator who is conducting the study, what food they eat, what drugs they take, what is their medical condition. You have a complete information as a result of the clinical trial. But now your drug is gone into the millions of patients. It has gone into 50, 60, 100 countries. How would you monitor that the drug continues to be safe or not? That's where the next role comes, pharmacovigilance. That's the science of drug safety. During the clinical trials, we had a limited number of population. We could easily track down the safety issues. Scientifically, there are method, techniques. We collect the data, scientific data about the patients. But during the clinical trials, it's easier because you know exactly who is your patient, investigator, coordinators. Everything is well defined. But now your drug is in millions of patients in 100 countries. How would you do that? So that's where the science of pharmacovigilance comes into the play, where you collect this data on the patient safety from the patients, from the doctors, from the publications, from the research journals, from the online, uh, publications like PubMed, kind of a platform. So you do the constant research post-marketing, and you want to collect this information so that anywhere you are seeing that the drug is having any uh, adverse drug reactions, serious adverse events are happening, you are ensuring that you are reporting those things to the regulatory agencies as per the guidelines and the regulations. What regulatory agencies want you to report, you are able to report. If you miss out these reportings, the consequences for the pharmaceutical companies in most developed countries are very serious consequences, to the extent of the banning of the drug, withdrawal of the drug, arrest of the senior company officials. So it can go to any level if you fail on some of these issues. Hence, the role of the pharmacist today is all the more important to ensure that we are reporting those safety issues. Now, a lot of safety issues have different kinds of reports. We prepare the individual case safety reports, ICSRs. We prepare these periodic safety reports called the aggregate reports, aggregation of the individual safety data. We also prepare a different kind of reports like signal detection, risk management plans for the company about the drug, signal detection. What are the new indications? If you see, you all have seen in the product information, there are always in certain number of patients, vomiting was observed, bleeding was observed. But now you have labeled all that. You put it on the label. But a new signal comes in, whether it's a related signal, whether it's a new adverse reaction which has come, whether it's a new or it's old, or it is related with the drug. Does it have a causal relationship with the drug or not? We use the medical review and signal detection to reach, to decide. So the career offers you enormous growth over the years, same as the clinical trials. Regulatory affairs, we move to the regulatory affairs domain. Very important, the backbone of the company, backbone of the pharmaceutical industry. Pharma industry, as you all of are good students, you know very well, and your trainers have told you very well, the faculty, that it's a highly regulated industry. Unlike someone opening a small, idli shop or any kind of food item, putting it on Zomato, start selling it. The pharma industry is not like that. Pharma industry is highly regulated. As a company, you're not only liable to follow the regulations of your own country, but you also need to follow wherever you want to do the business. If you want to do the business in Russia or in Middle East region or in Canada, you need to follow those regulations as well. So it's a backbone department from the stage of the research, whether it's a preclinical, clinical research, drug development process, manufacturing of the drug, packaging of the drug, transportation of the drug, marketing of the drug, post-marketing issues. At every stage, there are large number of regulations you need to comply with. Because at the end of the day, the drug which you are selling needs to be safe. Patient safety is our utmost concern at every level, whether it's a government level, at a regulator level, at a pharmaceutical company level, as a professionals. our main task is to ensure the drugs which are going into the market are safe. And that's where regulatory department plays a very important role at all these stages, whether it's the research stage, manufacturing stage, transportation, packaging, marketing, post-marketing compliances. At every stage, the regulatory affairs professionals are required with sound knowledge of the regulations. And regulations are enormous, the wide range of regulations. So every person cannot be a specialist in the regulations. So you can be expert in certain parts of the regulations. And that's how you build your career in regulatory affairs domain, a huge sort of opportunity for the pharmacy graduates and postgraduates. Another interesting area which is emerging is clinical data management. So when we were talking about the clinical trials, in clinical trials, we are generating a lot of data. We are collecting patient data, we are collecting lab data. A lot of this data about the drug trials is being generated. What do we do with this data? How do we, structure this data, analyze this data? So hence, whatever the data in clinical trial we do not use the manual methods like Excel and all to document this data. So we collect the data, we then integrate this data into safe softwares, clinical data management softwares. So there are data management softwares worldwide. There are many of them: Oracle, Medidata Rave, there are ClinSoft. There are different kinds of softwares which are used by the companies for collecting, integrating the data. Then we want to ensure that whatever the data is going into the system is valid, because one wrong set of data can have significant implications on the safety of the drug. So we want to ensure the data which we are providing is valid. It has been checked at the different levels by two persons, so that we ensure the quality of data which we are using for the clinical trial is fully compliant or validated. We then analyze this data, statistical analysis. That's where the role of the statistical analysis come. So this entire data management and SAS is again an integral part of clinical trials and is a separate opportunity for the professionals, pharmacy students who want to build career in clinical data management and SAS domain. Then it brings us to the another important opportunity for the pharmacy graduates, postgraduates, and especially the PharmD students who are passing out this year or the MPharm students, is business analyst role. It's called the pharmaceutical business analytics. In comparison to clinical research, a comparatively a newer role, India has become a destination for this process as well. And today we have almost 30,000 people working in the business analytics domain in India. What do we do in this? When we want to develop let's go to the first point, clinical trial. So we are doing a clinical trial for a new drug, let's say a cancer drug. But how did we even reach to this stage of clinical trial? How did we decide which drug is required? If we say in cancer it is required, how do you decide it is required in cancer? In which cancer it is required, whether head and neck cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, where your new drug is needed. How do we decide that? In order to make a decision where almost it is a $2 billion decision, let's say almost 17,000 crores of rupees today in today's dollar value. 17,000 crore rupees is required to develop a new drug. So how do we make such important decision? So we go back to the drawing board. We want to see which are the diseases growing. Where do we have competence as an organization? Which are the diseases? We do the epidemiological study. We do the disease prevalence in which countries. So we zero down, let's say, to the oncology. Then we see what are the prevalence of current data of the different cancers in different countries. Which are the current drugs which are available at present? Which are the drugs which are under research right now, which will come out in the next 2, 3, 4, 8 years? Who are our competitors? What do they do? Which drugs they are developing? What is the pricing of the drug? What is the regulatory environment in many countries where you intend to manufacture or launch the drug? So, or research your drug. So there's a lot of this scientific and business information is collected through various means, through databases, through public databases where we do the research, through primary research, through secondary research. So we analyze all this data and reach to the conclusion that where we need to invest. And that's where the role of a business analyst comes into play. And India is a very large destination for the business analytics today. There are a large number of companies who have invested in all these areas. Whatever we are talking today, there are close to about 200 companies in all these sectors in clinical trials, pharmacovigilance, regulatory, business analytics domain. Another new area which has emerged in the last few years only, where India is now slowly becoming a destination, the medical devices. Very important area. This is the next big growth opportunity. India has changed the regulation. We have a fairly new regulation for the medical devices. Our regulation today is almost at par with the global regulations like EU MDR in Europe or the US regulations. Any medical device today you want to launch in India, any class of medical device, class 1, 2, 3, 4 class, you need to conduct the proper clinical trial, or you need to obtain the approval through the regulatory agency for any classification device, which was earlier fairly open and only few classification of devices required proper approval. But now every device has to come through a proper regulatory framework, which means good news for all of us, professionals, because more professionals will be required over the next several years. Large number of companies are now investing into the medical devices. Even the regulatory agencies who are reviewing these applications, they are short of the workforce. So very soon you will see a lot of opportunities emerging in the medical device domain. Then last but not least, little more advanced career. Once you acquire some experience, you can explore the career opportunities in the medical affairs for the especially PharmD students and maybe some MPharm students can explore career opportunities in medical affairs. So what do medical affairs people do? Medical affairs people are a bridge between the medical doctor community, medical representative, and the company. So their job is not sales, marketing. Their job is to ensure that the market, the doctors, your physicians are receiving the right kind of scientific information for drugs, for diseases. So their role is to interact with the medical community on regular basis and work with the doctors and see what information they need to prescribe the drug. Doctors require a lot of scientific information. A lot of new drugs are coming these days. So how do we train doctors? So earlier, medical representatives were doing this, but now companies realize in the global practices that medical affairs people will work on all the scientific issues related with the disease or drugs with the medical community and even sometimes with the patient community as well. There's a career in medical and scientific writing. Very interesting area. A lot of you may have heard already about this terminology these days, medical writers. So every pharmaceutical company, research company, healthcare company, contract research company, big life sciences, IT consulting firms, they have medical writing process. Medical writing is a specialized domain where you write, as the word suggests, medical writing. We write on medical and scientific issues. At every stage, whether it's the regulatory stage, a lot of documentation is written. A lot of scientific documents are written in the regulatory department. The role of a medical writing, scientific writer is fairly strong there. In the pharma companies, medical affairs department, which is the kind of a bridge between the doctor and the company. They develop a lot of scientific literature, publications, write publications about the diseases, drugs. They develop the publication for any new research and reach out to the medical community, publish them. So very important area, writing posters, presentations, publications, journals, writing for journals. So medical writing is a very comprehensive career, but for that you need to acquire experience in any of these above areas, which we discussed just now. And last but not least, the biostatistics. Biostatistics is not there only for statisticians or biostatisticians. Everyone today in scientific community must understand the basic of statistics, that how we, analyze the numbers. We have a scientific data in front of us. We all are going to be graduates, postgraduates, PharmDs shortly. And I get scientific data in front of me. How do I analyze those numbers? How do I read those numbers? How do I make sense out of those numbers? So unless I understand the basic of statistics, it would be hard for me, a good scientific professional. So it's for everyone today is to understand the basics of biostatistics, how to interpret the data, how to do sample size calculations for your research. Once your data comes out, how to convert this into a publication. Everyone must understand the biostatistics today. If you want to be a good medical writer, you need to understand statistics, because then you will understand this fully. So now coming to the business side, it's a huge opportunity for India today. India is at the cusp of the growth, major growth. In clinical trials, we covered the journey from year 2004, merely $30 million to today, $2 billion industry. By 2030, it would be about $3.8 billion. And that increases constantly the demand for the trained, skilled workforce in the country. Pharmacovigilance is a similar story. Today we employ over 10,000 plus pharmacovigilance professionals already, and every year companies are hiring about another 600,000-700,000 professionals are being hired in pharmacovigilance every year. Earlier, the market growth was coming due to the international business, which continues to be there. But now India is opened up. Indian government has got the new pharmacovigilance regulations in place. And over the next few years, more and more Indian companies have to comply with the pharmacovigilance regulations. Government is already giving.
So may I just interrupt for a minute? Are you moving the slides? Because the slides are not moving.
There is one slide. Do you see a market size slide? No.
No, only the first slide is visible. Okay, now it is moving. Yes, thank you.
Let me put, okay. Can you see the slide of the clinic, the market size?
Now it is visible. Now it is visible.
Okay, great. Okay. So market size and opportunities. So we were talking about the pharmacovigilance, how this is growing. Earlier, the growth was coming due to the international pharmacovigilance market outsourcing, which was happening in India. But now India is also there as a big market. India has now a new set of regulations. We are implementing PV regulations. And over the next few years, you will see every Indian pharmaceutical company will have to have pharmacovigilance compliance in place, which translates into more scientifically skilled people. The same thing happening in medical devices. The current industry size is 3 billion and it's growing at almost 20%. Today, the medical device industry is growing at 20% plus in this country. Already employs over 1 million people. And every year we are adding, every pharmaceutical company is now adding medical device division. So you will see, and post-COVID, India changed its policy. India made a lot of centers for excellence, medical device parks in the country. Visakhapatnam Medical Device Park and many other medical device parks are coming across the country, and this will give a major boost to our domestic industry with the global standards. Business analytics, as we spoke earlier, is globally 23 billion. In India, we are about 10% of the global size, but we are growing at almost 10 to 12% every year. In India, we employ 25,000 people, which are constantly growing. So same, India's story is shining today. India as a country is major destination for the research and development, for the medical devices, for pharmacovigilance. You pick a sector, and all these sectors globally, when there is a recession, you keep hearing, in India, we are growing in double digit. So that's where India has got the major opportunity, and this translates into the opportunity for the students like you. But those are the scientific skills you need to have. I will today also talk about how you will get employed. Today, it's not only about the knowledge and the skills, the scientific skills you must have. It is important to have the multiple, overall skill set. So core domain skill knowledge is extremely important. If you're a pharmacy graduate or a postgraduate, PharmD, you need to have specialized, certifications like in clinical research or pharmacovigilance, data management, regulatory or business analytics, because that will give you a clear direction on the job role, what you're going to do in the company, what company does actually, and where do you fit in. English communication, very, very important today for this sector. In this sector, the entire communication is English driven. It's great to have our local languages, vernacular languages, whether it's a Malayalam or a Tamil or a Hindi or any other language, but English is the basic language connecting global language today. And a lot of work which we are doing in India is for the global research company or for the India. And everywhere the connecting language is English. So let's constantly, put emphasis on English language as far as this profession is concerned. The presentation skills, very important. How do you present? How do you prepare presentation? How you make presentation to group of students, to your colleagues, to industry colleagues, at a conference, at a seminar? Are you confident of speaking? Are you just reading from the slides, or you have a good subject knowledge? So presentation skills are very important for all life sciences sector professionals. Ability to lead or part of the group discussion. I said lead and part of the group. We need not lead always in every group discussion. Sometimes we need to be a nice listener, good listener. We need to be a part of that discussion. We need to speak where we are required to speak. Keyboard skills, extremely important skill sets today. And, we want to ensure that everyone is able to use the keyboard skills today. Whether it's a Word document, computer Word document, Excel, PowerPoint, we need to have this skill set as a basic bread and butter skill set today for every professional. There are no pen and paper jobs anymore. Entire world, global work is on computers, which means you need not be a computer programmer. You need to be a normal user of keyboard skills like Word document, Excel preparation, report preparation on Excel. You need to know how to make PowerPoint presentations. You want to ensure that you have these skill sets today before you even go out and do your first interview. Flexibility and mobility. India is a large country. India has got at least 12 to 14 major cities where investments are happening. It's not that only one city gets the investment. Kerala is getting a lot of now investment in the life sciences sector. There are companies in Trivandrum and Cochin which have invested in the life sciences sector. It's a great destination for the clinical trials. You have great hospitals in Kerala who are conducting the clinical trials for the global CROs, global pharmaceutical companies. But all opportunities are not there in Kerala. You need to be ready to move out, acquire experience. And I think the people from Kerala have been great in traveling worldwide. You go any part of the world. I've traveled pretty much in about 40, 50 countries. And everywhere you go, you meet a person from Kerala. So very important to be flexible, whether it's a Bangalore or whether it's a Delhi or a Mumbai or a Pune, Hyderabad, any part of the country. In the initial part of your career, be flexible. Be ready to go out, ready to work in other cities. That will also help you in developing as a professional. You will work in different cultures. You will work in different environments with different colleagues from different cities, exposure to different cultures and the foods, and that makes you true professional. Knowing just a subject of clinical research or this pharmacovigilance, analytics, regulatory doesn't make you a great professional. How to work in various cultural groups, how to align with various, companies. I think that's what will make you a true professional and a true leader. So these are the basic skills. And one skill which is still not part of my list, and I need to update this, is start acquiring a journal knowledge, at least, or as a user on the artificial intelligence. Very important to understand the artificial intelligence. So let's, Sharad, you can tell me because I can't see all the students here. So we will do a quick test here and, raise the hands. We want to understand how exposed you are on computers now and do you use computers or not? And so let's of all a first quick test. How many of you use computers in your day-to-day? I'm not asking about mobile phone-based computing activity. I'm talking about a proper computer or a laptop, whatever that is. Whether it's a shared in your home or your own, or you use in a college premise, raise your hands, please. Whoever uses. So want to see how many percentage of, give me a broad number, Sharan. Raise hands and how many approximately, Sharan?
It is on mute, I guess.
I hope it is visible. Is it visible? Can you see?
Yeah. So how many approximately number of students who are regular users of computer, who work on computer?
Few actually, not everyone.
Okay. Okay. So my next question is, have any one of you used the chat GPT?
I hope you can hear. Almost all of them.
Oh, wow. But you don't use computers. How do you use chat GPT?
Yes. All of them, almost all of them uses ChatGPT.
But how do you use, many said that they're not using computers. So how do you use chat GPT?
ChatGPT now everybody is telling yes.
So that's nice. Yeah. So I think the working on the artificial intelligence journal, the knowledge on using the AI technologies is extremely important for the students today, because every company, wherever you will go, they're adopting the artificial intelligence. So it's important to see how you can adapt to this technology going forward. One thing I want to kind of put it at the rest is there no job loss is going to happen, because it's going to improve our efficiency, and we are not going to lose any jobs with the advent of the artificial intelligence. I was at the conference early this week at a, leading organized by the foundation on the skills, healthcare skills, and the German foundation. And same question, are we losing jobs due to the artificial intelligence? No. It's going to improve our efficiency. And if you apply the artificial intelligence into a day-to-day automation, into a day-to-day job, you will become more efficient. You will be able to do a lot more jobs. So there are not going to be any job losses in this. So I'll again share my last slide. Just a moment. So this is a brief information about Cliniminds. We were established in the year 2004, and around since last 18 years plus, we have been offering the skill programs in the various areas of expertise which you heard earlier. Today, we have 10,000 plus alumni working in India and overseas, pretty much in about 35, 40 countries. Today, our students are located. Today, we do the placements in close to about 150 to 200 companies, pan-India. Good placement support. We help our students in preparing for interviews, mock interviews, aptitude tests, so that they are ready to face the real interviews in the companies. And then at Cliniminds, we arrange all the interviews for the placements with companies. Our programs are certified by the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council. It is the part of the Government of India body under the Ministry of Skill Development. Our programs are internationally accredited as well by the Accreditation Council for Clinical Research Education in the United States. The students have fairly active learning mechanism. All our classes are live, e-learning through e-learning model live. Students get a lot of content through e-learning content through us. We have a learning management platform where all the ebooks are hosted, where students can individually log in to their account, go through the ebooks. There are audio video content. All the audio video classes are also recorded. Students get access to this content. Students get opportunities to interact with a lot of senior industry professionals from time to time. So overall, great learning experience, great placements at Cliniminds, and we are there to help you. We have our partners in Kerala, Mr. Sarath, Inspirit Safety Solutions. They are our partners in Kerala, and that's where they will help us in reaching out to you if anyone or the college wants to explore the opportunity to conduct these programs even at the college level. Thank you very much, and I am now happy to take a lot of questions. I'm expecting a lot of questions. Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much. Just a minute. So let me just ask whether anyone wants to take Q&A.
At Cliniminds, our best students come from Kerala. A lot of them get good, excellent placements. I probably ask my colleague Vinayak if he has got the placements of our Kerala students. So probably I will stop sharing and see if we can share the information about our Kerala students, actually. Some success stories from the Kerala. Vinayak, do you want to share something?
So this page is available site.
Yeah.
These are all over anyway, all over India, all India placement, but a lot of placement, excellent placement from Kerala, which we have done recently in last about almost 2 months. We have done excellent placement from Kerala. I'll go down on this one.
So that's enough, right? Just to give the flavor of our, students are pan-India, including Kerala, excellent sort of students, excellent placements. And that's fine, Vinayak. Thank you. Jarat, any questions you want to take from the students? And
Yeah, right. I'm just asking them. Just a minute.
whatever is there in your mind, you can ask your questions, anything.
So do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Any questions regarding the anyone? You can hand over the mic. ഇതാ, ചോദ്യങ്ങളുണ്ടോ? ആരെങ്കിലും ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ?
So there is a question regarding the course fees, course details. What is the duration?
Okay. Vinayak, do you want to address that? What's related?
So our programs can be online live e-learning as we offer now. So the programs are in the 4 months duration where we teach in full time Monday to Friday daily live e-learning sessions. There is a weekend option where the classes are conducted over the weekends for about 4 to 5 hours on the weekends. If the students want to conduct this program for their exclusive for their for the college, we can do that as well. The programs are with the related software training, government certification, and of course the placements where we take the responsibility of arranging the interviews and the companies.
Yeah. Vinayak, do we have any slides regarding that?
I will share it with you. Give me a moment. I'll share. Just give me.
Vinayak, you're sharing?
Yes, you can. You'll be able to see in a few seconds. So this is the inclusions which we offer. The programs are by the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council, approved by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So Monday to Friday, daily live audio, video, e-learning sessions. Built in the trainings, there are software trainings. Because now everyone will work in the corporate sector, so they have to work on the safety database, clinical data management software, and the related softwares of each domain of clinical research, pharmacovigilance, data management, regulatory affairs. There are tools in the business analytics, Excel, advanced Excel. So we teach that as part of the training. The certifications in the program, the first certificate is from the Life Sciences Sector Skill Development Council. Second is the Cliniminds certificate, which is accredited by the Accreditation Council for Clinical Research Education, United States. We have this accreditation from 2013. Cliniminds is in 2004, so we have 20 years of experience in this sector now. One is the internship certificate, which is through our partner CRO company, and fourth is the ICH GCP certificate, important certificate for all clinical research professionals. This is about the life sciences sector, and these are the placements. This is the typical things which we are going to teach in the program, and in modules.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Vinayak. Right, Vinayak. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. If anyone has questions on the career part, we are happy to take those questions.
Nobody's asking any questions.
Anyone wants to talk about how the salaries start in?
ഇതിന് ശേഷം ഞാൻ സിസ്റ്റർ ചെറിയ ഗൾഫ് വരാം എന്നാണ് ഇത് ചോദിക്കാനല്ലോ We can write it down.
Right, I think that's it, sir.
Okay, thank you, Sharad. Thank you very much.